Ishan and Mike. Ishan, Mike, and Gavin are the three partners at BarrettandWelsh, and what we'll be doing today is sort of presenting to you two of the key projects that we are working with the city. One of them is the Brampton Community Engagement Strategy, which I'll be doing a quick walkthrough, and then Gavin will be walking you through the Economic Development Branding project that we've been working on. So let's just get into the first part, which is the Brampton Community Engagement Strategy. Now, as business leaders, as community leaders, your input, your feedback, and your support is going to be very critical as we go through this project to make this a success. One more thing, which is since this project is actually in its very early stages, what I'll do is I'll walk you through the process that we intend to follow to show you where we are going, and also I'd like to reserve most of the time for the economic development branding piece. So just a quick background and context as to why we are undertaking this assignment. Essentially, the overarching goal for the city is, the overarching goal for the project is for us to assist the city in its efforts to ensure Brampton continues to be a place where its inhabitants can live, work, and play. Now again, as corporate citizens of the Brampton community, this would have a direct impact on you on making Brampton a place where its inhabitants can live, work, and play. There are 5 key areas, and Madam Mayor alluded to some of those. There are 5 key areas where we would like to seek feedback and solicit input from the community at large. These 5 key areas are economic growth and prosperity, environmental stewardship, community spirit, cultural vitality, and corporate excellence. Now that we understand why we are doing this, the next question then becomes, what do we actually get out of this at the end of this process? So the key objectives are just threefold. It is to engage, to gauge, and to assist. Now, once delivered, once we go through our process and we deliver a community engagement strategic plan, this will lay out a framework that will help the city and assist the city in more effectively engaging the community and more effectively getting feedback, identifying the right key messages, and identifying the appropriate channels to go out and engage with the community. This also does a quick temperature check, if you will, to gauge the current levels of engagement. How are we performing today? How engaged is the community with us today? How informed is the community with the city's programs and policies? And at the end of the day, it all leads up to the overarching goal of, as I mentioned earlier, assisting the city in ensuring that Brampton continues to be a place where inhabitants can live, work, and play. So with those objectives, next question then becomes, how do we start? How do we initiate this process of putting together a community engagement strategy? Well, we believe that before we can start talking to the community, we must first listen. And by listening first gives us, if you will, the permission to go back and engage with the community. By listening first, we are almost in a sense of engaging the community already by soliciting their feedback and input. By listening first, it gives us the research-based facts and grounds our strategy and thinking into facts and research-based decisions, as opposed to just purely opinions, which can be very subjective. And again, by listening first, it enhances our understanding of the community. It enhances our understanding of the challenges, of the opportunities, so that when we do go out and we engage the community at large, we are better prepared and we can address those challenges. So, just a quick walkthrough of the process that we intend to overtake. Now, I know it looks like a very linear process, but it's actually a very collaborative process. We don't just go away and work in a vacuum and come back. This is a very collaborative process from discovery to deployment, and at every step of the process, at every critical milestone, we go back, we reach back out to the key stakeholders and make sure that we are building buy-in and alignment as we go through this process. Again, as key stakeholders of the community, you should be hearing from us to solicit your feedback into the development of the strategy. And as we go further down this process and get into the deployment phase, then we'll be reaching back out to you with specific engagement initiatives. So just to sum up this specific project, we've essentially got three things at hand. We want to commence engaging the community with dialogue and initiate the process of seeking and soliciting ideas. We do want to measure current levels of engagement because that gives us a benchmark from where we can build out. And we want to identify appropriate channels and messages so that we can, when we do go out to the community and talk to the community, we have more effective and more impactful results. That's my piece. I'm going to hand it over to Gavin, who will walk you through economic development branding.